my name's Barbara and I'm a type 1 diabetic at age 59, and it came on in my 50s. Hard to believe, but true. For many years, people believed, even in the medicine field, that type 1 diabetes only came on when you were a young child. It's now been found out that that is no longer true. The good news is you are living in a time where you have an opportunity, if you have diabetes, to get good care and treatment, and that's important to me. I hope that my story can actually bring light into your life and bring you good health for the future. My struggles could actually become your blessings. That will make me very happy. So this is what happened to me. At age 55, I was diagnosed as a type 2 diabetic. In the early morning reading, when you go in, you have a blood glucose reading taken at the lab. It showed a bit of a lower number, but I found that by 11 o'clock in the afternoon, my blood sugar had risen actually to over 300. I had read that type 2 diabetics could actually get rid of it, so it meant everything to me to see if I could too. So I exercised hard every day, as you see. I vigorously went to work on that cardiovascular machine. I lifted weights, I swam, and I did what is my very favorite form of exercise. I danced. It's important to find something that brings you happiness when you're facing a health struggle. I ate a very low-carb diet. I made sure that there was no food in my house that could tempt me that had a lot of sugar. I ate protein, lots of vegetables, and I prepared meals in advance so I wouldn't be without what I needed when I went to exercise. I kept trying and trying. And you know, what's kind of interesting here is actually prior to being diagnosed as a type 2 diabetic, since my early 20s, I've been exercising and dieting. I didn't look like a diabetic. Many people believe type 2 diabetics look very heavy, but you know, when you have diabetes, it's sad to say, but your body actually can become very small. As I tried so hard to get better, unfortunately for me, things got much worse. The blood sugar readings eventually went to over 600 and the tester could no longer take the number. There were times it was like being on a roller coaster. Sometimes the blood sugars went all the way down into the 30s and I almost went unconscious. I was doing my best, taking the medication I had been prescribed, but I couldn't get it in control. Finally, one day, a pharmacist got me in to see the nurse of a specialist who ran a test. She told me, "Barbara, your pancreas is not creating that much insulin. You're a type 1 diabetic." She put me on 24-hour insulin, and it was from that day forward that I finally started to get control back. The sad thing for me is I'm very lucky I didn't get in a car accident. There were times that I was in my car that all of my alertness and my concentration started to go away. I immediately pulled my car over and did not drive. And it's important that you do not drive too if you're having symptoms that do not allow you to be safe on the road. The good news is you can make a difference in your life and you can be your best advocate. You don't have to be a doctor. You listen to yourself and you advocate and ask for the tests you need. I've created for you a short presentation that you can take a look at, and if any of these symptoms sound familiar, please be sure to take my advice. Go get tested and find out if you need help. Do you ever wonder if you have diabetes? Did you know that almost 1/3 of those with diabetes are not even aware they have the disease? Do not hesitate to get tested if you think you do, because there are dangers in your life. If you have diabetes and it is not treated, you can end up with an inability to concentrate well, driving accidents, decreased lifespan, decreased quality of life, diabetic retinopathy, kidney failure, nerve pains, and loss of limbs. The basic symptoms of both type 1 and type 2 diabetes are similar. Not everyone will have these symptoms. It will vary with the individual. Shakiness, depression or unexplained unhappiness, increased hunger, increased thirst, fatigue, numbness of the hands or feet, confusion. You may become irritable very quickly, have blurry vision, frequent urination and feeling faint, unexplained weight loss, difficulties with concentration and memory. Take control of your health and get the correct diagnosis. Are you a type 1 or type 2 diabetic? Recognizing the difference between type 1 and type 2 diabetes is important. With type 2 diabetes, the body is still producing some insulin. Changes in diet and exercise often improve health. With type 1 diabetes, little or no insulin is being produced. Basic changes in diet and exercise help, but health can deteriorate. Symptoms will increase. Without proper care, there may be rapid weight loss and noticeable muscle loss and weakness. Medical treatments for type 1 and type 2 are different. With a type 2, diet and exercise can totally control the blood sugar levels for some people. Other people may require medications and possibly insulin. A type 1 requires that insulin be given and monitored 24 hours a day. The pancreas needs that help. Additional insulin is required for meals which include carbohydrates. Did you know that you can get type 1 diabetes as an adult? Because the treatments are different, it is important that you have tests done to determine which type you have. Take things into your own hands. If you have the symptoms of prediabetes or diabetes, get tested right away and get on a nutritional and diet program that leads to effective managed care. What tests do you need to determine if you have diabetes and effectiveness of medication? 12-hour blood glucose fasting test. Test your blood sugar 2 hours after a meal containing carbohydrates. Hemoglobin A1C. If there are signs of type 1, it is important to request these tests: C-peptide, insulin autoantibody, islet cell antibody, and GAD antibody tests. With proper diagnosis and treatment, your life can get better. If you are diagnosed with diabetes, I recommend request a prescription for a one-touch meter and learn how to test your blood sugar from a medical professional. Attend classes in your community on how to care for yourself and learn more. Thank you for taking the time to listen, and I'm happy that my story can be like a rainbow in a storm for your life. It can bring beauty, health, and sunshine. Oh, you're probably wondering what I'm up to. Well, I figured some of you who've watched this video might have gotten a little tired during the exercise part and thought, I can't do that. So I have an alternative for you. Go to your local community garden, sit, think nice thoughts, healthy thoughts, and lift a few squats. gosh, while you're there, you'll get in a good workout. And if there's an orange tree close by, well, you could take some oranges and start juggling. Oh, you could eat this later too. Make sure it doesn't have high carbs or high sugar amount before you do. Thanks for listening.